Prime, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Hey, it's a pleasure to meet you, by the way, bro. Now, what do you prefer to be called? John, Blaze? You know what I mean? What do I call you?
You can call me Blaze, John Blaze, El Jefe. It don't matter to me, brother. How about you? Ice, Prime, Ice. Oh, you can't hear. Man, I'm talking. I forgot to push the talk things on. This thing's messing me
No,
up.
I'm bad about that too. I mean, you want to? We could kill our push to talks if you want, man. Does that make it easier for you?
Cause I usually do it backwards. I usually do push to mute. So like if I want to talk, obviously to chat or anything, you know, not talking to you, I kind of mute it. But I could just give me a few minutes. I'll get the hang of
Not
it.
so yeah. So here's what's gonna happen. There's gonna be a lot of times where we think we're talking to each other and we're probably not, right?
I do that literally the other day. I had my my stream muted for 5 minutes and I was talking to myself, so I'm used to it.
Oh yeah, I've been there. Yeah, I've been there. Hell yeah, man. But seriously, it's a pleasure to meet you, though, man. And I love this game, and you're like an OG, man. I mean, you've got items in the game. You've been playing a long time. I'm really stoked, hopefully, to learn a thing or two, too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, you yourself and your community has been very welcoming. I got some questions for you though. Have you? So I know recently you've been really like playing Scum a lot. Did you try it when it first released and then like gave it a break? Like how is that?
So my story's it's simple stuff, right? Streamer life. Scum, I saw at PAX East when it was like brand new, when they first announced the beta. Stood in line, checked it out, was interested in it, and then when it first hit early access, I played, you know, a pretty solid chunk. But at that time, PUBG was still kicking, and I was a PUBG guy, partnered, and all my content was just engulfed in PUBG stuff. You know what I mean? So that's really where the break, and it just kind of fell off my radar. You know what I mean? And I was playing DayZ's new map. I know, the cursed DayZ, and I was feeling it, but it's like, God, the game just feels so dated. It's so last gen. And I was like, oh, Scum, fired it up, and I haven't looked back. Like, it's everything that I'd hoped that it would turn into, right? The biggest thing for me was the vehicles. Vehicles are huge.
In what sense, like they actually work compared to other survival games, or?
Yeah, I mean, they're fun to drive. You know what I mean? It's like, for all things that people hated about PUBG, like it was fun hopping in the car and cruising around. You know what I mean? And very few games in Unreal on any large player scale have been able to really accomplish that, right? And Scum's driving feels good, and when a map is so large, the vehicles are important, because it's like, at least for me, when I was a kid, you'd sit around with your buds and be like, wouldn't it be cool if there was a game that was so big you had to drive cars around it and shit?
Yeah,
We have that now, so it's like the vehicles are huge, and it's like DayZ's vehicles are a nightmare. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have like probably less than 100 hours in DayZ, but yeah, I've had one experience with vehicles in DayZ, and it was pretty bad. You'd think the game just got released the week before that.
Right. Right. Well, it's old, right? It was a haphazardly hacked together thing. What I say, it's like it was Generation 1, and they did create a genre, right? But Scum is like Gen 2, and it's not even done yet. I mean, we're going to be at the halfway point with this next patch. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, and a lot of people say like, I love Scum. Obviously, I've been playing it from day one and continuously love it. And I mean, there are some DayZ features and other survival game features that Scum doesn't have at the moment, which they will have. And we just got to be patient. Just wait for this development to continue. They're rocking and rolling. The dev team is growing. They started with like 8 to 9 developers, Scum, 2 years ago, and now they have over 50. It's crazy to see how much growth it's had, and to see you and you genuinely just like playing it just because you're having so much fun on a daily basis. Dude. That's just the best, man, seeing that. So
like my background, like I made video games, right? I was a dev. I worked on Call of Duty Black Ops 1 and 2, and then I was on this game called WildStar. So that's how I transitioned into the industry. We were selling WildStar, and we were dealing with a lot of streamers. That was just at the time that like Twitch was becoming relevant enough that marketing cared. And I got to meet this guy, Tally. He's a small guy. You probably never heard of him. And he was a great guy, but I owe him the reason I'm sitting here, because I was like, shit, man, I'm in the wrong gig. You know what I mean?
That's dope.
So one of the things I love about Scum, though, dude, is it's so many genres that are finally getting mixed together. It is an MMORPG. You know what I mean? It's also a roguelike or a roguelite. You know, it's a survival game. There's all of these genres that are finally coming together, and it's a great shooter. Let's be honest. I'm a shooter guy at my core. I love shooters, and Scum really has done nice Unreal Engine, and the shooting mechanics feel good. You know what I mean?
The mechanics, the gun animations, there's no other survival game like it when it comes to that, to be honest with you.
No, there's really not. I mean, there's not a lot of games that any other games that are even like it, right? I mean, you had PUBG, which had a pretty decent attachment system, which was just a straight BR. But I mean, really, there's no other games that are doing the things that Scum is doing, right? And they're doing it in a lot of different spaces, which is, I think it kind of gets lost in the shuffle a little bit. Like the gunplay is awesome, but the average person doesn't necessarily know that from the get because there's all these other layers and all this other shit that's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, shit, even for the dedicated hardcore players, like, sometimes I forget how much stuff they've implemented and added and adjusted and upgraded. Like, sometimes
right, and those layers of complexity, for me at least, I hope, this is my dream, like, for the future of video games, right? I'm hoping that we're going to look back at the 2000s as that was the age of gaming where all the devs were so worried about catering to everyone, meaning the dumbest motherfucker that might pick up your game that can't even understand, how to WASD and what jumping is. So there has to be a tutorial that just beats you over the head and icons that beat you over the head. I think we're going to see a resurgence where you obviously enjoy the games you're with me. I like more of a challenge in my games. I like more long-term goals. I like the character progression. I like the large world. I like the unforgivingness of when you die, where it's really hard to go back to the same genres that are entire genres that are a small piece of this game just don't feel as fulfilling anymore. You know what I mean?
There is so much to do in this game, man. I literally, 2 years into the game, I just started really diving into lockpicking, which obviously is a skill you need to raid in this game and find certain loot. And like to say, like, and I played this game every day, 5 days a week, like, and 2 years into it, like, I'm still finding challenges. And like you said, like, that's what drives me in video games. If I'm not feeling challenged, I get bored, I'm not paying attention, I'm not 100%. Having fun. Like, I need to be challenged on a daily basis, and this game gives you so many aspects. And you want to be a base builder, you want to be a PvPer, you want to be a lock picker, you want to be a bomb placer, there's so many things you can do in this game. Like, it's incredible, and it's not even halfway there. Like, I can't.
No, yeah, and it's like, I got to give you big props, man. I mean, you've been playing a very, very long time and supporting the game a very, very long time. And because of my dev background, I love indie games, man. You know what I mean? And there are some communities where if I genuinely enjoy a game and I'm into it, there's a little bit of hostility. Like, who's this motherfucker coming in here and enjoying our game? I really appreciate the Scum community for being a hardcore game where you expect a lot of toxicity has been very welcoming. And I really appreciate, goats like you reached out to me. That means a lot to me, man. That's awesome, because it's great for the game. You know what I mean? When people like a game, that's what's important. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys being welcoming, and the level of the community really caring about this project doing well is one of the things that sets the toxic communities apart from good communities. And it has nothing to do with the games, where it's like, oh, these survival games are all toxic because it's like, it's a full loot. It has nothing to do with that. It's like there's projects where the player base literally plays the game and wants that project to fail. And then there's, player bases that want that to succeed. And that pours out in every aspect of it. And Scum really does have a solid community.
Well, hold on one second.
I know, it's a mouthful, sorry.
Right, thank you.
I'm drinking my first cup of coffee.
That's all good. It wasn't you. It was this alert going off. It was really loud. I apologize. But hey, speaking for myself and the Scum community, thank you for those kind words, bro. It means a lot. Like I said, you've been very genuinely loving the game, been cool. Your community's been very dope, and we're happy to have you guys on board, just enjoying the game. Listen, any game you play, from Scum to freaking Fortnite, you're gonna find toxicity. So there are people like that in every community, but
no, 100%, 100%.
at the end of the day, all of us have been playing this game from day one and holding on and riding out with the bumps and of early access. Like, we just know deep down inside, like I know deep down inside, this is the best survival game out there, and it will be. And it just needs some time. I've tried other ones, you know, and this is going to be the best one out there. And it's just 2 years into development. We're about to hit year 3, you know, a couple months from now, and the dev team's amazing, by the way. I don't know if you've you know, if they've made appearances or reached out to you, but
you know,
they're
I've been doing this long enough that I don't like doing that. I never reach out. I always kind of just see, you know, what is their dev team doing, and it depends on the game. You know what I mean? If you know, if I'm towards the top and I'm enjoying the game, and they don't reach out, that's very telling. But no, they reached out and they're amazing. You know what I mean? And why that's important is that means that they're paying attention to what's going on Twitch, and they're supporting people that are bringing positive eyes to the game. And you know, that eye on the community is important. And again, another reason that the SCUM community is strong is the devs are awesome. You know, they're very transparent, and they're delivering. You know, they're swimming in a space of a lot of scam games and a lot of broken promises in the early access realm. And SCUM is really unique in that it is hit its goals, and it's continuing to deliver exactly what they promised from the start. You know what I mean? This is what we want early access to be. You know what I mean? And it's because of the dev team.
You hit the nail, brother. I couldn't say it any better than that, man. They are incredible. I don't know if you follow one of the main directors of the game, Tommy Slav, on Twitter. If you don't, I'll message you the link after.
No, I have been. He's been tweeting some really cool stuff. You know what I mean?
Every day is like Christmas if you're following him on Twitter.
Yeah,
if you really love SCUM.
Like, you can see that they're really making fast progress too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this year is going to bring next level, I think, progress. I think we're going to see a lot of cool things by December of 2021. I truly believe
I mean,
it.
the insane thing right now with SCUM is I've seen a game like this. PUBG, I was lucky enough to be in very early with, and it was just a game at the time that you could just tell it was hitting on the cylinders, and the industry was ready for that type of a game, right? SCUM is that, and it's just it's on the verge of just absolutely blowing up. Like, it's funny right now, as it feels like almost an indie game. It's gonna flip where everybody's just piling in, where it's just a sea of everybody trying to get in on this game. It's gonna be interesting, and it is fun to kind of get to play something that's so good first. You know what I mean? In a way.
Yeah, I got to ask you a question because you said that, because I 1000% agree. Do you think that's going to be sooner than later? Because I believe so.
Yeah, because I guess, fuck it, we're doing like a seminar, right? But real talk, I mean, the industry's shifted hard, right? There's a lot of division in the world and in our country. Where are you from? I don't want to assume.
I live in New York.
All right, New York. Awesome. There you go. And I'm from Colorado. So we've had a lot of divisiveness, a lot of, you know, people kind of feeling alienated and people feeling on their own. And that idea of like the lone wolf, I feel like has fallen off in the sense of what we enjoy entertainment wise as a whole. So what we're seeing with the Rust blowing up, it wasn't so much Rust is a fine game. I'm not here to shit on Rust. It's not my game. But Rust, nothing changed that made Rust blow up. It's just the right attention was put on it because people are looking for games that you can host and have more of a community. You know, one of the things that I love about SCUM is I can pick a server and go, all right, boys, who wants to play? You know what I mean? And that is becoming more and more popular where, yeah, Rust is going to play a huge role in the skyrocket that SCUM is going to have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think because I enjoyed watching it when it was blowing up, and I think, like you said, it was just all the content creators just all playing together. You know, like
no, it is the content creators playing together. It's almost a different game, right? Because it's a safe. I say safe space in that you're just not going to have the same level of people that are there just to straight up ruin the experience, right? When all content creators are playing together, content creators are not necessarily just like, you know, smile through our teeth, grunt through it. It's nice to know everybody that you interact with is there with some stake in the game, and that they want to have a good show. They want to have a good time too. You know, it is a different experience. So what was funny about Rust is I saw, you saw Rust get super popular with OTV and those guys. I saw my friends just go boop, 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 boop. Everybody's on Rust, right? For about maybe 40 hours. And then everybody was, back to normal, because the Rust they saw was not the Rust that just the average person could just jump into and enjoy. You know what I mean? Two different games.
Yeah, this is just being very honest and truthful. When that happened, I bought Rust, and I was like, oh, look, let me just try it out off stream, just chilling off day, and I played it. I got KO'd like 5 times in like 2 minutes, and I just refunded it. It was just like like you said,
it's like
when I was watching
going on when everybody's like not trying to be assholes to each other.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
Well, Rust isn't that, but so it's like the thing is like Scum is the next evolution. It's kind of like GTA RP in my opinion. It blew up because like all of a sudden it was like, oh wow, this is really cool. Honestly, yes, Scum is going to see like some kind of content creator server, that might not even be in the demographic of anybody that, I'm not a Zoomer. I'm out of the loop on a lot of the really popular stuff, but it could be that. It's that simple. Somebody's going to make a Scum server with a bunch of creators on it, and it's just going to blow up because it's got RP potential. It's got all this other stuff going on. You get the poo-poo and pee-pee jokes. It's a little bit more for grown-ups. I mean, it's ripe. You know what I mean? Yeah. Plus, it's a fucking killer-ass game to play. The gameplay is awesome.
And it's beautiful, too. Like, just walking through the woods, the atmosphere.
Yeah, it runs great. I mean, it's nice and optimized. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't wait, man. So I've been looking for the last few minutes while we're talking at some servers.
All right, dude. Yeah, let's get in here. Let's show them a thing or two.
So I was assuming and thinking like, okay, we don't want to jump on no max loot server, right? We kind of want to like load in as Bambis and kind of like, I don't know, what are you thinking? Or you don't really give a shit? We're just gonna load in and.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's like here's the thing. It's like we could plot something where it's like, do we want to keep an ongoing thing? Do we want to pick an official and see, do a few sessions? Do we want to jump in? I'm down whatever. You know what I mean? One of the things I like, I got to get your take on this real quick before we jump in. There's a little bit I've noticed, not controversy, but I guess there's a hot line in the Scum community between private servers and official servers.
Yes.
I'll preface with my opinion. I, as a newcomer, I preface myself as a newcomer because I didn't play the game for almost 2 years. You know what I mean? Since launch. So, as a newcomer, I like the different experiences. Minus the bots and the servers that run like shit because of their setups. But within the rule sets that, the G portal, for example, provides that are kind of like, the devs have blessed these as like, these are okay settings to adjust. I like that because it's a little bit of variety, especially as the game grows. Variety is important. You know what I mean? But the flip side is the bots and that kind of shit. I really can't fucking stand. You know what I mean?
So it's funny you asked this because I had a whole little 15-20 minute talk this morning when I started everything about some forum about people paying for in-game items like real cash, which is fucking disgusting and bullshit.
Yeah, that's fucking bullshit. I mean, that's money out of the dev's pocket. I don't like it.
No, it's even outside of Scum, any game that does that is just disgusting in my opinion.
No. Yeah, my background's dev, so like I look at it like, video games are expensive to make, fam. And it's like, if people would just stop and think about what a team of people, of professionals, and what their salaries, what they should be making, it's a technical field. Just imagine what the budget is just at that, right? So it's like, yeah, that's, I can't believe people are running private servers and having people pay real money for that shit.
Yeah, it's pretty, it's to me, I had no idea. That's the crazy part, and I literally found this out like 2 days ago that a server was doing this, and it was just.
Can you is it like, I don't know, is it drama? Can you tell me what server it is so at least we know not to play on there?
I'll DM you some of the
All right.
info, or I'll
Yeah,
DM you
DM me.
the Steam forum, so it's public. It's still on there. You know what I mean?
All right, that's public. Okay, yeah. I'm not trying to be in drama, but also I'm not going to support anything like that. Fuck all that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's sad, but there are some bot servers I want to throw out there that don't do that. That have like this creative in-game currency where like the more time you play and kill and do things, you earn like these in-game coins, which are obviously all fake. And using those coins, you can use the bot system and you can buy a car and guns, and that's a little different. And you know, okay, bring some creativity to an early access game that sometimes if you have like 4,000 or 5,000 hours in at the moment, you know, it does get a little stale. Obviously 5,000 hours in any game that could happen to you.
Yeah.
But
Wait, you have 5K?
no, I have over 3,000 though.
Okay.
I'll
Yeah,
just...
yeah. No, so the 3K mark. So here's the thing: people throw the numbers around. You know what I mean? Oh, I got this many hours in a game.
Yeah.
3,000 hours in a game is like you really have to love that motherfucker. I'll be real talk. I'm at 3,500 in PUBG, and I have a really hard time enjoying it on any level anymore.
It's not easy. I've definitely taken breaks from Scum for like a month or even 2 months, where you know, and it's normal. And I tell people that all the time because in early access game, especially, people get frustrated. You know, they especially with the whole pandemic going on. You know, people get frustrated. And I tell them like, yo, it's okay to go play another game. It's okay to go take a break for a little while. Like the game's still gonna be here. Like and this dev team is amazing. Like there are some devs that I even consider like my friends. Like I talk to them about like real life shit outside of gaming and outside of this game. Like
Right.
like if I was going through something, if I took a hiatus, they would reach out to me just to check up on me. Like, you know, it's
That's a good community right there. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
absolutely. But to go back to the officials and privates, there are some great private servers out there. There are some good official servers out there. Everyone has their own opinion. Everyone says, you know, private servers, owners, and admins have this, you know, they have this power trip, and then but you go to officials, there, you know, there may be a chance you deal with hackers, and you know,
right. It's the lawless land versus living under a tyrant, I guess, is what some people feel like they have to choose between. You know what I mean?
yeah, and there are a lot of options of private servers out there, you know, and it's all really what suits you best, you know. That's how I look at it, you know, like, hey, if you enjoy official servers and you don't mind putting the time in, and this might happen, and it might take the devs like a week or two to take care of it, you know, because they will take care of a hacker, a cheater, an official, but Ken's to a private server where that might get taken care of in 24 hours or less compared to a dev taking care of it, you know, in a few days. You know, it all really depends where your play style is, where your dedication is, your devotion to the time. It's hard, but there are a lot of options. Like you said, they give a lot of private server owners setting options: 1 times loot, 10 times loot, max cars, max puppets.
Yeah, and
you
it's
know.
like, I don't know, every now and then it's fun to go, fuck it, let's go get on a max loot and just, you know what I mean? Just bathe in loot and shoot some motherfuckers, and, you know, I don't know. I like the variety every now and then.
Yeah, if you want to just log in for 2 or 3 hours and you want to shoot people, there are a lot of max loot servers out there that you'll log in and you'll be geared up in fucking 15 minutes, you know, and it's fun.
Yeah. So one thing that I don't get though is like, why are there servers that, you know, like these 99 player servers and shit? I mean, there's just such a jank fest, you know?
Yeah,
and,
I don't agree with it. I have my own server, which I'm not gonna, you know, whatever, but it's 64 to 64. You know what I mean? Because that's what official servers are, 64 to 64. And
yeah. Oh, and by the way, I want to plug your server for real, man. You're New Jack City, correct?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Yep. New Jack City is JonBlaze's server. I was unaware of that, so I'm out of the loop on all that stuff. You know, I suck. If I want to play, I look at the server settings. I don't really go do any research. And if there's like a Discord, I never go to the Discord. I'm that guy. I'm a horrible user of private servers. You know what I mean?
it's good to hop around.
People have talked very highly of your server. It's been recommended to me a bunch. I think I have run around on there a few times. So anyway, big shout out. And if you guys are looking for a solid server that doesn't have the pay to win craziness and has admins and all that good stuff, you guys do have the cool thing where you could turn BCUs in, right?
Yep. We created that a little bit. That's all manually done. That's no bots or anything like that. We did that manually. Right. So it's pretty cool. I appreciate that. But I also heard you have a server, right? And it's kind of it's unique.
So I'm weird though, right? So I don't dev anymore, but I still have my toe in a lot of things, and like that, my mindset. Like looking around, I made a server originally because I couldn't find one that didn't have like a bot, and I wanted to be able to fuck with the settings. You know what I mean? And my first test, we ran it for a month, was first person only. Nobody wants to play Scum in first person only.
It sucks
is what I've
too.
learned.
It sucks, but it will get there because I'm a big first person. I love playing this game in first person.
Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. You can always play in only first person, but I'm the guy that I can't help it, dude. If it's the third person's there, yeah, I can't help it. You know?
The one thing that I think will change down the road with me, there are some first person animation that do need a little more upgrading. Not too many, but the thing with me is not being able to see what you're wearing. So like in other survival games, first person only, you hit your inventory, you get to see your character on your screen. With Scum at the moment, you can't.
Wow, dude, that's fucking very intuitive. That's exactly what I've said. Like, you need to. It's very important to see what your guy's rocking. You work hard to fucking get that swag.
That little thing once, and I think they will down the road. Once they do that, or if they do that, I think first person servers will thrive. But unfortunately,
character portrait, where you could drag and drop to, probably would be nice as well.
Yeah, because I wanted to make New Jack first person because I love playing first person, but it just at the moment those servers just don't thrive.
So that I tried it, you know what I mean? And then this one was this is a lot of feedback from just there's folks that are just hardcore in the community, like Jordy.
Yes.
You probably know Jordy. I assume. And it was brought to my attention and it piqued my interest in I just want to see how metas change. Solo only. I was shocked to find out that there's no server that doesn't allow teaming in any way.
Which I thought was very unique of you to do that, and I think that's pretty dope. And if anybody wants to play solo, I'm definitely gonna check it out, brother. You send me the details.
Right. No, I appreciate that. So obviously it's really hard to fill Scum servers and all that stuff. And for the test that I would like to run, it needs a decent pot. But there's a few theories that I have that I would want to see if they're true. One. Will you have a higher chance of bumping into individuals if people aren't in clumps and moving around in clumps? I feel like that is the case. I feel like you'll have more interaction if you're not able to kind of cluster up in groups.
So I agree with that, but I wanted to add on to that because I feel strongly about certain things as well, as far as like more interaction. And I could just name two things kind of basic off the top of my head.
Yeah.
One, with the respawns, right? Kind of in DayZ, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. Usually when someone dies or they respawn, there's usually the same location by the beach, right? And you get a lot of fresh players spawning at the beach together, so that causes a lot of interaction, which Scum is not doing at the moment. You could random respawn, you could be D4,
you could be anywhere.
Yeah, so that's one thing that could be tweaked to help with that. Another thing is before base building came into the game, which a lot of people are like 50-50 on. I like the idea of base building. It gives people stuff to do. But before base building, there was a lot more bumping into people because you didn't have you could be on a server that's maxed out 64 out of 64 and not run into anybody for 4 hours because they're in their bases, they're in the woods. Hence, before base building, you could be on a server with 30 people and everyone's homes are in these towns. So it was so much easier to run into people because towns were very more valuable. Like you go into a town, there's a team in there locked up. Okay, now you're in a fight, or it was just a lot more interaction with the base building. But they've made progress since that to kind of make the interaction and have people needing to go to certain locations and certain things. And I think the more they do that, the better it'll get with more bumping into people. But I also think what you're doing,
you can enlighten me on this. And this has been a huge curiosity to me, as I've gotten into the game, I watch, YouTube and I don't know if you know.
Thank you guys for the follows, by the way.
Scara at all?
Who?
He's a guy that plays Scum, and makes a lot of YouTube stuff.
What's his name?
But Scara?
Scara? No, after this, can you send it to me? Because I'm interested.
Yeah. So anyway, but I hear a lot of talk of people are hiding in their base. So enlighten me. Okay, what are people doing in these bases? You know what I mean?
I mean, they could be hanging out. They could be, storing their loot. A lot of people have fear gear in these games. This is my first survival game ever. I never played a survival game before Scum, so my experience with I guess people like to say in survival games, people have gear fear. Like that's the word that they use, where people don't want to lose their gear, so they build a base and they store the same M16. They have 30 of them, 40 of them in the base. You know what I mean? And They, you know, you could build things. You could build couches, TVs. There's a lot of things that base building allows you to do in Scum. There's more coming in the
Right.
future. But I think people just feel safe and secure in the bases, to be honest. And they just, like, you have a group of friends. You guys are just bullshitting, hanging out. Boom, boom, boom. All of a sudden, 4 hours pass by. You
Just a
know.
fucking poop and pee shiza fest for hours,
Yeah,
I guess.
they're throwing dildos at each other. You know, people
Yeah.
having a good time.
Never gets old. Then you just go to bed, log in, do it again the next day.
Yeah. All of a sudden, you have 57 M16s instead of 52.
All right, all right. No, I mean it makes sense. It makes sense. So, question number 2, and then we'll jump into the game.
Yes, sir.
Did they change lockpicking in this hotfix? I mean, I feel like for me, I have had some sort of a stroke, or it's way harder to pick gold locks.
Yes, they have definitely been tweaking and hotfixing lockpicking for a few months now. Again, with early access and games like this, you know, as an ex-game developer, I know you especially know people will find any exploits and any ways and any cheats to get an advantage. So they have been definitely tweaking a lot, and there's going to be more tweaking to it. You know, so they're basically just trying to buckle down on people using any type of cheats or hacks to make their lockpicking easier. And
I mean, the way they've done it with it or requiring the mouse movement is pretty smart. I mean, it's really hard to emulate that. You know what I mean?
And that mini game alone is so, like I said, I just started diving into lockpicking, like seriously, really trying to learn for myself, and it's so unique. Like, what other game do you like? It's just like a whole different skill and game in itself when you start lockpicking and really getting involved.
Did you see that there was it was in one of the tweets that there's going to be some kind of strength based option for like forcing open things
with a crowbar? Yep.
The game looks like on that, you know.
Yeah, that's again, we just talked about that a little while ago. That's very good. I love the devs at the direction that they're going and giving players options, like not forcing them to do like you have to do lock picking and like, okay, you don't want to learn it.
It's MMO, fam. I mean, this is an RPG at its core. You're a prisoner on this island and you're just not killing dragons and shit, you know? It's got all the stuff that an MMO has with the character progression, and it just keeps getting more in depth. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, brother.